amongst the stars.
It wasn't until I became a father this year that I truly understood the depth of Superman's story. I look at my beautiful son, now just a baby, this beautiful, perfect, innocent being, and I think about Jor-El and Lara. I suddenly imagine the pain, the sheer agony of having to make the unbearable decision for a father to place his beautiful baby boy, his only child, into a pod and setting him off into the vast unknown space, not knowing if he'll survive, if he'll ever be okay, if he'll ever be loved. That's when I realized Superman's story doesn't begin with heroics. It begins with loss, unimaginable loss, loss of a father and his child.
They can be a great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way. For this reason, above all, their capacity for good, I have sent them you, my only son.
This isn't just a story about a man who can fly. Superman's tale might just be one of the greatest stories ever told. It's not just about a man who can fly or bend steel with his bare hands. It's a story that touches the very essence of what it means to be human, even when you feel like you don't belong. This is a story of loneliness, about being an outsider, and about loss. Today, I want to talk about a different Superman. A Superman whose story is far more tragic and far more lonely than most of us can ever imagine. Superman's story begins with tragedy. An orphan sent across space, the last survivor of a dead world. What we often forget is that Superman lost everything. Though he found a loving home with the Kents, but he will always be just an orphan. I imagine growing up, realizing you're different, that you don't belong, that no one can truly understand you. You know, in a way, I've always felt a connection to Superman's story. I grew up far away from my home, not on another planet, but in a place that often felt different. So I know what it's like to feel different, to be the outsider looking in. And then he lost his father, the man who taught him about humanity, about using his gifts responsibly. Gone. And Superman, with all his powers, couldn't save him. Superman saves the world time and time again. But who can save Superman? Who understands the weight he carries? Even among other heroes, he stands alone. No one else knows what it's like to be the last of their kind, to have the power to hear every cry for help, and the burden of not being able to save everyone. Who else bears the responsibility of powers that could level cities, every plea for salvation, and he has to choose which ones to answer? Superman's greatest tragedy isn't that he's an alien on Earth. It's that the Earth is the closest thing to home he'll ever know, yet he can never truly be a part of it. This is why, to me, why Superman's story is so powerful. Despite everything, the loss, the loneliness, the burden, he chooses to protect a world that can never fully accept him. He chooses hope. Superman's greatest tragedy isn't that he's an alien, it's that Earth is the closest thing to home he'll ever know, and yet he can never truly be a part of it. He'll always be an outsider. So behind the S-shield is a story of profound loss and loneliness. And maybe, just maybe, that's why we love Superman. Because in his solitude, in his loneliness, in his choice to be a hero despite everything he's lost, we see the best of what humanity can be. We see hope. And in a world that often feels dark and chaotic, a reminder that even in our darkest, loneliest moments, We can choose to be strong. We can all choose to be like Superman.